In this video, we'll review sinusoidal functions briefly. Page 19 and 20 on your handout. So let's say if we have a function written, sine function, cosine function with the coefficient a and plus h at the end, and inside of the input parentheses, it can be written this way, okay? We notice that we need to factor it out, right? So if we factor by k, what do I get? X plus c over k. If I factor inside by k out, and I need to have c times k, so I need to divide by k, and then we will get c back when we do multiplication, right? So this is the format of the function here, and phase shift is negative of this. Inside of the parentheses in a factored form, we have this number, take opposite, and that is related to horizontal shift to the left or to the right. So if this number is positive number, it is moving to the right. And I'm taking negative with it, so we do opposite way, okay? And h is going up or down, and midline is related to h. So we can graph easily by using midline. So number one, what is phase shift? Right. So this answer will be to the right pi unit. That's right. Next one, what do I need to do first? I need to factor inside, okay? So let's factor it out. X plus pi over 4. So what is the answer? The format itself has negative in it, so I need to take its opposite. So it is moving to the left pi over 4, okay? So what number I'm looking is negative pi over 4, which means left pi over 4, okay? Next, state the vertical shifts, the maximum, midline, and minimum for the function. If you graph this, what is going to be the midline? Midline is y equals 2. That's right. Because of the amplitude 3, you go up higher from 2. What is the maximum? 5. And what is the minimum? 3 down from number 2. That will be negative 1, right? Okay. So you can find maximum, minimum by using amplitude. What is the vertical shift? Up 2 units, that is related to the midline we started with, okay? Right. So when you graph any transformed functions, you need to think about parent functions, and especially for the sinusoidal functions, start with the midline. And then think about the amplitude and period. You need to consider period and put x-axis, y-axis, and then you need to draw at least one full cycle, okay? That is how you draw a translated trig functions. Next page, number 3. Here's the function, and let's state every details, and let's try to graph it. Amplitude, what is amplitude? 2, absolute value of first number, that is 2. Period. What's the period? I don't know. I don't see any period here because I have frequency here, right? So let me rewrite this here. Y equals 2 times cosine. Let me write x over 4, which means, can I write 1 over 4 x? 1/4 x plus pi minus 1, right? So I rewrite it, x over 4 means 1/4 of x. So I can factor this out. So can we factor this out? 2 cosine. Inside of the parentheses, 1/4 is the coefficient of x. If I take 1/4, what will be the number here? 4 pi, and then let's check, okay? If I do distributive property, 1/4 of 4 is 1, and then times pi. That's right. Subtract 1, okay? So can I write this on the side so I can use the graph? Okay, 1/4 factor out. So this is factored form, and now we have that. All right, so By knowing that, what is period? So I need to use frequency, right? So let's find frequency. What is frequency from the equation? 1/4. So what is the formula for period? This is sine or cosine function. So 2 pi is the period. 2 pi divided by frequency, we can find the period. So 2 pi divided by 1/4. In other words, 2 pi multiplied by, flip the number, 4. So this will be 8 pi. That's right. Phase shift to the left, to the right, and we are looking at this part. So what is the number? Negative 4 pi. Okay, so it is negative 4 pi, means left 4 pi. Vertical shift, negative 1. That's right. So when we graph, when you do your homework, the direction is graph, and many students did the graphing without numbers on the x-axis. You must put numbers, okay? You cannot have just blank one like that. You must put numbers on the x-axis and y-axis. So let's make sure you do the homework correctly, okay? So let's graph vertical shift first, which is the midline. Midline is at -1. Okay. And amplitude is 2, to up, to down. And then what is the period? 8 pi. Where would you like to put 8 pi from 0 here? So in 8 pi, you will see one full cycle, okay? So your choice, where would you like to put 8 pi? At the end, okay. And then middle one will be 4 pi, middle over middle will be 2 pi, and here will be 2, 4, what's next? 6 pi, opposite direction, -2 pi, -4 pi, -6 pi, -8 pi. You must have numbers on the number line, okay? And then you will graph it. So let's go up 2 units. Since this is cosine function, we will start from the maximum. So go from the midline 2 units up. And back to the same position in 1 period. 1 period is 8 pi. So 8 pi, this position. Backwards, -8 pi, same position, right? Between same position, where do we hit? If we start with the highest point, lowest point, right? So at 4 pi, we will go 2 units below than the average line, midline, okay? So that is it. Between maximum and minimum, did I go too far? That's it, right? And between maximum and minimum, it will hit the point on the midline. So this is the form of the cosine function. And the other side, we do the same way. So I can have 2 cycles, okay? On your homework, you were asked to draw at least 2 cycles, right? So it's like this. So in the middle, 4 pi is middle. Okay, it is hitting the lowest point, -3. And midpoint, okay, point on the middle line. All right. So let me connect the points like that. Okay, that is the graph. After this lesson, I'll check your homework. So I will point out who needs to do the homework again, okay? Because of the number line, I put some comments. So read the comments. If you need to do it again, please do it again. Any questions so far? Okay, so we have graph like this using midline at -1, and period is 8 pi, and we have amplitude 2, so we graph this. Now what do I need to do? I need to do phase shift, right? So we will move this purple graph to the left 4 pi units, okay? So my answer will be with orange color. So let's move every point position negative 4 pi, okay? So this point over here. And this position somewhere here, right? Negative 2 pi. So the graph is like that. Okay, connect them. And this is 2 pi to the right. So here. And at 0, this is 4 pi. So it's moving over here. Okay, and this position 4 pi to the left, so the graph is like this. Okay, so it is moved. So the graph is not like this, the graph is like that. Make sense? Okay, so don't forget the translating to the left, 4 pi units. 4 pi unit is 2 blocks to the left from here. All right, next one, number 4. Write an equation of a cosine function with amplitude 5 and period 2 pi, phase shift pi, negative pi over 2, and vertical shift negative 2. Okay, period 2 pi. From this, I need to use the frequency formula, right? So I can use the number in the equation. So what is frequency? For cosine, 2 pi divided by period. So that is the formula. Let's do the calculation. 2 pi divided 2 pi, what do I get? Frequency is 1, just like parent function. Okay, your final answer has 2 options because of the amplitude 5. Okay, one can be positive or the other can be negative 5. Make sense? Because amplitude is absolute value of the coefficient of the function. We can go either direction. It can be plus or it can be minus. They ask us to use cosine, so I have cosine. And frequency is 1, invisible 1. And there is a phase shift, so I don't need double parentheses. I need only one pair of parentheses. Phase shift, negative pi over 8. What number do I write here? Because of negative in the form. 2 negatives make positive pi over 8. Oops, I put x, right? Cosine x plus pi over 8, and then vertical shift, subtract 2. So that is the answer, okay? So you have 2 possible answers. One is with a positive 5, the other with negative 5. Make sense? Okay. So be careful with the sign in the middle, okay? This one was negative, now I see plus. And amplitude is 5, and we have plus or minus signs. Next questions, number 5. Write a sign equation for the graph below. So from the graph, what is the midline? Midline is at y equals 0. So I don't need vertical shift. Okay, is it sine? Okay, they ask us to use sine function. Oh, I'd like to use cosine function because it starts from the peak at 0, but they ask us to use sine function, so I need to start from different point. Which point would you like to use? This point? And then you will say flipped? Or would you like to use this point and just move to this many blocks? And then you can use positive. Either way, fine, okay? Which one you prefer? Move it 3. Move it 3? Okay, now you change your mind. Okay, move it 3. So I will show you 2 different ways, okay? So if you are starting from this position, you'll move 3 units. So let's say y equals, what is the amplitude? 1/2, right? From 0, it goes 1/2. So we go positive 1/2 and x minus, move 3 units. So that is 3/2 of pi, and that's it. Oh, where is sign? Sorry, I forgot writing sign. Let's write again. sine, parenthesis, x to the right, so minus 3/2 of pi. And there is no going up and down. So that is one possible answer. If you're starting with this position, you can still write the function. And this time you need to go down below first. So this will be a reflection. So you have -1/2 with the sign. If you push only one block, this will be translated to the right, only pi/2 without going up and down. So either one is possible to be an answer. Okay? From this view. So where you start, you have different equations. Next one. We are starting where? Okay, up high, below 6. What's the distance from 8 to -6? 8 to -6. What is the distance? 14. What is the half of that number? Oops. Half of that number. 7. That's right. So this will be your amplitude. Okay. So where is the position? You go 7 below. What is the midline? Midline is at number 1. That's right. So this is midline, y equals 1. Because this is 7. Go 7 units below from 8. That is at 1. -6 and +1. That is 7, right? So we can find the midline. So there is a particle shift, 1 unit, okay, higher. What is it? The sine function here starts from here. Where does it end? 1 up, 1 down here, back to this position. So what is the period? Period of this graph is, oh, this is not the position. This is the position, right? So let's count. Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, here 4 pi. So period is 4 pi. By knowing that period, let's calculate frequency. Frequency is 2 pi divided by 4 pi. So frequency will be 1/2. Let's write the equation. Y equals, let's start with the positive one, okay? Without left to right translation. That would be easier, right? So let's start from here. So this will be amplitude 7. It's going upwards first. There is no reflection, so it's +7. And sine, frequency 1/2, parenthesis for the extra factor here, since we factored out. And wait a minute. There's no translation left to right, right? So that's it. So let's go there then. That will be 1/2 x, that's it. And bring this up 1 unit, so +1, that will be it. That's the equation. So on your homework problems, you need to graph and you need to write the equations. So practice this, okay? Next one, number 6. Can you graph this? What is amplitude? Amplitude is 1/2 positive number, so amplitude will be here, okay? So between 1/2 and -1/2, we have graph because there is no midline. So we will use y equals 0 as midline going up and down. What is the frequency? The number in front of the input x, that's the frequency, 1/2. So what is the period? Frequency gets smaller and period gets longer, right? So that will be 4 pi. 2 pi divided by 1/2, and we get 4 pi. So every 4 pi, you will see the same pattern. So let's see. At 0, we start from sine function, position here. At 4 pi, it's coming back. So this is 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi here, coming back. So between, it passed through the midline. And we want to go up and down, but this is a reflection, right? Reflection. So I need to go down first on the right-hand side. So let's touch the this part first, and then highest position here. And that's going to be the function. So you can draw arrowheads, apotens, and that is the graph of sine function.